We have one last section before it's time to close, which is to say the beginnings of good night to SoftBank. SoftBank is, I believe, it's not closing as a concern. It's a profitable company. It still makes a lot of money from like phones and so on.
A bank is a profitable company.
Yeah. Well, actually, it's also mostly a mobile phone manufacturer as well. So they bought like shares of Sprint and everything. Like, SoftBank as a whole is fine. The Vision Fund now that's interesting. So I want to quickly go back to one of the companies we talked about in the past, OYO, On Your Own.
The machine for killing hotels.
Well, they have laid off 1,800 employees and withdrawn from 200 towns across the country. So they are ramping up their hotel destruction business.
It's perverse. It gets more efficient as it fails.
Yeah, once it reaches critical mass, the last hotel will be closed.
Yeah, I mean, they are withdrawing. That's good. In the same way that like Norman troops having harrowed the North withdraw from it. There's no hotels left to close.
Or it's withdrawing in the sense that when a star collapses, it withdraws from the space it used to occupy.
Yeah. They sold all of the upholstery that they were stockpiling, and now the scam's over. They're just packing up, vacating the fake business address.
Yeah, there never was an OIO in this town, and there isn't an OIO in this town, and there never was. But also with the bankruptcy of Brandless, the first SoftBank property to actually go bankrupt yet, the SoftBank Vision Fund now looks as though it might be coming to an end. So welcome to SoftBank Season 2. As we chart its decline and fall.
We're retiring this plot line. But the poor Saudis, they put so much oil money into the Vision Fund, and then like bet so heavily on Aramco's IPO, and then certain events transpired, and then now maybe it doesn't look so good.
Yeah, whoopsie daisy. Yeah,
I hate to see it. Some of the nicest people who deserve it the least are being pushed out of the give millions of dollars to the machine that kills hotels.
Well, if you think about it, who's made money off of this? Upholsterers, WeWork vibe consultants.
It has been a very like meritorious hole in Riyadh's coffers.
Yeah, we've basically reallocated a bunch of Saudi oil money sort of semi-randomly according to the whims of some madmen.
Yes, it is like the children's toy where you push the thing across the floor and the colored balls fly up in the air and spin around.
So I want to talk about Brandless for a minute, the first company to have gone bankrupt. They received $240 million pledged from SoftBank. Now, the way the investment was structured, they would unlock further tiers of the investment as they met certain markers. They didn't get being the whole on Twitch. Of the funding. Yeah, exactly. They didn't reach SoftBank partner status. So Brandless is a consumer products brand. And for context, the next leader in the unbranded consumer goods space got $3 million of seed funding.
Is that No Name, the Canadian thing where everything?
No. That's a private label of a grocery store. No, this is something else. This is some like it's called like public goods or something ironic like that. And so the business model of Brandless is, I think, almost darling in its naivete. Because they had no like branding, no slogans, and you knew that because their brand was that they were brandless, and that they tried to acquire as much of the supply chain as they could. And they thought that by doing this, they could have a grocery store where everything is $3.
Oh, the $3 store that we love to go to.
Yeah, the $3. Everything's $3. Dish soap, $3. Bag of flour, $3. Bunch of bananas, $3. It's all $3. Everything's $3.
What an incredible idea. What?
A flat price.
This is what you do. This is the kind of business that you come up with when your society has been oriented in such a way that everybody is taking the mandatory modafinil.
Yeah, it's you find the perfect price.
Yes, and then you charge everything for it.
Yeah, you want a house? $3. That reminds me, when I was at university, Kanye West came to give a talk prepared no notes, and then just riffed for about an hour. And at one point said all houses should be $5,000. And I was like,
Oh, I listened to that.
okay, cool.
That was great.
Yeah, I was in the audience, baby.
That was cool.
It ruled. I was like, huh. Thank you, Kanye. So the bet was that customers would appreciate the simplicity of brandless, and the fact that everything was a cool threer.
Yeah, that bill that we all carry.
Yeah.
Just
Okay.
you can pay this in obviously counterfeit $3 notes that have like Master Chief on them.
So this is from Fast Company. Brandless introduced a fresh approach to branding. The CEO, one Sharkey, made the case that I don't know the first name. I only
It's
have the last name.
funnier if I assume it's a mononym.
Sharkey, the CEO, Sharkey, made the case that many grocery
It's
stores
like one earring.
contain. Yeah, Sharkey took off 3 of his nose rings to say,
Just wearing a pucker shell necklace that also cost $3.
Sharkey stopped doing $3 worth of close-up magic to then say that made the case that many grocery stores contain what they called a brand tax, which in the article, B and T are capitalized. There's no space between brand and tax, which can be up to 40% of what the item actually costs to pay for the premium status and branding of that item.
Damn, you're just buying the packaging, bro.
Brandless, on the other hand, rejected the over-designed products that fill the grocery aisles. The company hired a firm Red Antler to create simple packaging, and each product features a white box in the label with a checklist of 2 to 5 descriptors such as organic or no added sugar, which were important qualities to consumers based on the focus groups that Brandless ran. It's a brand! You've just made a brand.
I love that this stupid idea being randomly selected is having to make us relitigate Naomi Klein.
I mean, it's very
Adbusters. It's
very
Adbusters, the grocery store.
No, it's very Virgil Abloh.
Oh yeah.
I like.
It's
Virgil
very
Abloh,
Virgil
though.
Abloh with like it's not a brand, it's a quotes brand.
But the thing is, like they said earlier, yeah, there's a brand tax. It's 40% of whatever it is that you whatever it is that you're buying.
Just buying the logo, bro.
Yeah, but it's not like these are the people who think that, again, this is the Adbusters thing, where you think the problem isn't capitalism, the problem is brands.
More people, more American kids recognize the Nike swoosh than a maple leaf.
But the thing is, right, the 40% of what you're paying as the brand tax or whatever isn't going into the orange coloring on a box of Tide laundry detergent. It's what you're paying for the focus grouping and the design services and all the horse shit that Brandless still paid for that make you buy whatever it is you're buying.
That they pass those savings onto you, the consumer, by charging a measly $3 for everything.
That's the thing. The brand tax should not be understood as a brand tax. It's a competition tax. It's the free market necessarily making shit more expensive because they need to induce you to buy theirs rather than someone else's. It is literally the entire SoftBank saga in a macro sense and in dozens and dozens of micro senses is just like the reductio ad absurdum of market logic showing that it just doesn't work.
It's also the Soviet Union, but shit and expensive again, because, under socialism, you either have empty grocery stores, or there'll just be, one brand of flour that just says flour on it. We have that, but it also is extremely, it costs $3 for some reason.
Yeah, that's the other thing. Oh, we're not going to let... the price signal, at least it transmits information. It doesn't just transmit pure demand information. It also transmits information about what people want to make and so on. It's a mechanism by which power can be transferred as well. But at the very least,
cracking open copy of Capital Volume 1 theatrically.
At the very least, it does something.
Yes, it signifies a bunch of things other than you can pay for this with your Halo bucks.
Yeah, and just trying to magic the price into being $3, not even by force of will, just by force of ignorance, to me is beautiful.
I mean, again, that is something that you accuse the Soviet Union of doing, of just being, or even like in its more communal moments, China, of just being like, oh, they're doing price fixing. They just say that it's this much and then it is that much.
Yeah, but it's cool now because Pete Buttigieg does it, right?
Of course.
Oh, God, Pete Buttigieg would love this company.
That makes him actually a socialist, yeah.
Oh, God, Pete Buttigieg hiring the people from Adbusters to do a flash mob for him.
I'm just very into the idea of PSL endorsing Pete because he's a dangist.